I should be doing more. But my mind drifts away from me constantly. Always one step behind. Always trying to catch up. Hey you, welcome to my channel, A Year and a Day. My name is Jenny, and January was all about trying to find balance and failing miserably. I started my month full of inspiration and energy, setting my goals and intentions for the year ahead. But soon chaos settled in my mind. There was a work trip to an island north of the Netherlands. There was trying to take ownership of my new job. There were dinners and birthday parties and coffee with friends. And isn't it the most awful and ungrateful thing to have to admit that all these lovely things were keeping me away from what I really wanted? And that what I really wanted was to be alone, to be quiet, to calm my mind and allow my hands to create anything, everything, all at once. It frustrated me. All these lovely things that were distracting me from that. And that made me feel guilty and ashamed, which got me even more frustrated. Trying to find balance between what you should and must and want can be a challenge sometimes. And it will take me some time to figure things out, to establish what works for me, to find the courage to set my own boundaries and claim my own space. I almost didn't make this video. I almost felt completely uninspired to go through the motions and to go through all the things I felt like I should be talking about. But then I remembered I am not here to be perfect or better than or the same as. I am just here to share what I love. So let's go to my table and let me tell you about the things that made me happy in January. So here we are at my table, my happy place, where I've brought some coffee to chat a bit about January. In January, I finally shared my first ever tarot collection video. And if you found my channel through that video, I want to say hi, welcome. I had so much fun going through all my decks and asking myself what works for me and what doesn't. I also started January with looking back at 2022 and looking forward to the year ahead. I shared my process and the cards I pulled for 2023 in a video I will link down below. And the cards actually had a lot to say to me in January, but we'll get to that later on. Let's first start with some creative stuff. When I went to my local fabric shop this month, I found out that unfortunately they are going bankrupt, which is a real bummer because they are the only fabric shop in my hometown. And because they will be closing, they were having a huge sale with 50% of all of their fabrics. Now, I was going to shop there anyway, so the sale was just, I guess, a little bonus for me. Although I would much rather have a fabric shop in my town than a sale like this. But nonetheless, I am pretty happy with all the beautiful fabrics I got. Because yes, I am still working a lot with my sewing machine and having the best time in creating a little tiny wardrobe for my lovely Blythe dolls. And speaking of Blythes, oh god guys, yes, I did it again. I got another Blythe in January. Now I could sit here and promise to you that this will be my last Blythe ever, but who are we kidding, right? All I know is that I should not be buying one Blythe per month, and I'm sure I won't in 2023. But I spotted this little one on a second-hand website, and it turned out she was actually being sold by the creator herself. And she was a perfect addition to my little Blythe family. Especially when I found out that her customizer also customized another of my dolls. This little blue-haired one was created by the same customizer. And I actually got her this rainy day outfit in January. Now I try to create all of the clothes for my dolls, but in this case I really wanted these yellow rain boots. And the outfit was a nice little bonus, I guess. So there you have it. I now have 4 Blythe dolls, but I'm completely sorry not sorry. I enjoy these little ones so much, and I was happy to give this little blue-haired one a little sister. They are really inspiring me to create, and in January I perfected my pattern for this cute little pixie hat. And now I want to create one in every single color. Let's move on to decks. And let's first take a look at the 2 decks I modified in January. Starting with the Seed and Sickle Oracle. When this Oracle deck was first released, I actually got the special limited edition of this deck. But I received a misprint and all the cards were sticking together. And even when separating them very, very carefully, it damaged the cards. And Liminal 11 was kind enough to send me a replacement copy of this deck. So I still have a very lovely version with beautiful copper gilding. The damaged edition I used as my working deck, but the dodgy gilding had very sharp edges, which made shuffling the cards a real hassle. So in January I finally decided to trim my copy of this deck and etch the cards in this beautiful orange color, perfectly matching the backs of the cards. The second mod I did in January was the Woodland Warden's Oracle. Originally, this deck comes with quite large white borders, and they had been annoying me from day one. So in January I finally took the time to trim off a couple of millimeters. And I can't believe how much difference a few millimeters can make. the artwork stands out so much better, and now it is just absolutely perfect. I already love this oracle for the artwork, but somehow I needed to modify this deck to truly bond with it. And I'm so happy that I did just that in January. Let's move on to new decks I got in January, and let's start with a completely random one, the Oracle Story Generator. This is a Kickstarter I backed in 2021, and getting it now made me laugh at myself a bit. I feel like I completely got this deck in 2021 to please my fantasy self. Because my fantasy self still thinks that she will ever have the time and energy to pick up creative writing again. I used to write a lot, but writing takes a lot of time and energy and focus, of which I have not enough nowadays. But back in 2021, apparently I really believed in myself, and I really love the concept of this deck. Basically, you can make stories with these decks very easily. And I felt like that would be a great way to practice my writing skills. To create prompts for myself and then just make up short stories. And I truly believe that this whole system of cards is a great tool for that. I'm just not sure if I will ever use it the way I envisioned when I backed this Kickstarter. If you like this system, I will leave a link down below. And please note that there is actually another deck by the same creators currently on Kickstarter about character creation. For myself, I'm not sure yet if this is a deck that I will be keeping in the long term. But for now, I will keep it. And who knows? Maybe I will find the time and energy to pick up my creative writing again in the future. Another Kickstarter I received in January was the Sleepwalker's Tarot. This was a super quick delivery by the same creators as the Monsoon Tarot. I absolutely love the colors and illustration style of this deck. And it didn't take me long to back it on Kickstarter when I first saw it there. This deck has real Disney vibes for me, filled with princes and princesses and castles. When I got this deck in early January, I wasn't sure if I was going to bond with it. But I'm so happy to report that I used it a lot in January and absolutely loved it. Next up is a very special oracle deck I gifted myself at the end of last year. It's the Viator Somniorum, and it's all about dreams. Lately, I have found it more and more easy to say no to new decks. I am very happy with the deck collection I currently have. And a lot of decks, even though I think they're pretty, do not add anything to my current collection. But there are exceptions. And as soon as I saw this deck, I knew it was something special. The illustration style, the use of colors, the interpretation of the keywords, and the whole theme of the deck, revolving around dreams and lucid dreaming, really make this a unique deck in my collection. I already had so much fun in January looking for decks to pair this one with. And I'll make sure to include it in the Oracle deck collection video I am currently working on, and in the Perfect Pairs video I will be making to conclude my deck collection trilogy. Let's move on to journaling, and I will link below a video I made at the start of January where I shared my process in wrapping up 2022 and looking ahead at 2023 using my beloved edition of the Wildwood Tarot. The cards I pulled for 2022 were kind of mind-blowing, to say the least. And the cards I pulled for 2023 were beautiful and very fitting once again. And if you would like to hear a little bit more about my thoughts on these cards, I invite you to watch the video linked below. In January, I also prepared for my year in the Wildwood, a deep dive study that lasts one whole year. With my year in the Wildwood, I hope to achieve two things. One, a deeper understanding of one of my most beloved decks, the Wildwood Tarot. I will be using this second copy I have of this deck, which I got after deciding to trim my matte cardstock version. And two, I hope it will help me live more mindfully and look at the world around me through different eyes and with deeper understanding. I can't wait to study this deck and all that is linked to it. For my January card pull, I used the Zodiac Tarot. I got this tarot deck last month, so it has not been in my collection very long, but already it is a favorite. The dark backgrounds combined with the beautiful colored pencil drawings are just a complete mood of their own. They bring a bit of light in the dark winter months, and it seemed so fitting to use in January. The cards I pulled were fitting for my month of January. The first one I pulled to represent myself, and I pulled the Page of Pentacles, which was perfect for the situation I was in, constantly learning new things every day at my new day job. The second card represented something that I should embrace in January, and I pulled the High Priestess. A card all about trusting your intuition. And to represent the thing I should avoid in January, I pulled the Knight of Swords. A good reminder to calm myself down and not expect too much too soon from myself. But the cards had something else they wanted to tell me in January. Because while my frustration was raging trying to find balance between my new day job, my relationship, friendships and social obligations, and all kinds of other chores you are obligated to do as an adult. The cards had a message for me. The Queen of Swords first popped up halfway through January, and it would not be the last time. She ended up in my readings 4 times in the last 2 weeks of January, perfectly reflecting my inner turmoil and need for independence and isolation. For me, the Queen of Swords is a lady who is not afraid to tell you what she wants, who is independent and strong-willed and goes her own way. And the fact that I had real trouble in January claiming that space for myself, feeling guilty and feeling like a failure, tells me I still have quite a bit of work ahead of me. So there you have it. My month of January wasn't perfect by far. I spent most of the time feeling frustrated. But sitting here, going over the things that brought me joy, has been so lovely. And I want to thank you for joining me in my journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly. I hope you enjoyed my random ramblings of my favorite things from January. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!